Hey, welcome back to a new episode of The O-Pinion. I'm the host, DJ Blue, the Sports Guru. Hey, today we're going to discuss the running back situation throughout the NFL as in regards to their pay and their lack of pay. We're going to talk about the Saquon Barkley situation of the New York Giants. Let's get right into it. I've been hearing a lot of chatter, a lot of people saying that the running backs are not getting paid, the running backs are being mistreated misfairly. They're not getting the money that other positions are getting. The value of the position is going down. I think sometimes you gotta really pay attention out here. You can't just listen to ESPN. You can't just listen to people complaining without really doing your research. So before we get into that, when we're hearing people discuss that the running backs are not being paid, let's look at some running backs that's in the NFL that are getting paid. The 49ers. They cut the check for Christian McCaffrey last year. He's on a 4-year, $64 million deal, $16 million a year. Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints. He's on a $75 million deal right now for 5 years, $15 million a year. Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans. He's currently on a $50 million deal for 4 years, $12.5 million a year. Nick Chubb. $36.6 million deal for 3 years. He's getting $12.2 million a year. And then you look at Aaron Jones for the Green Bay Packers, $48 million a year, 4 years, $12 million a year. The situation right here with Saquon Barkley and the New York Giants, it's a different situation. Dumb. Like if you want to discuss what happened with this situation, dumb. Between the New York Giants and Saquon Barkley, both of them bear responsibility for the position that they found themselves in this past, month, the 2 months. Saquon Barkley, he finally just settled for a 1-year deal for $10.1 million. So if he reaches some incentives this year, he'll get the other $900,000. That'll make it an $11 million deal. He's a 26-year-old running back. He's gone into his 6th year with the New York Giants. Let me explain this to you. Most rookies in the NFL drafted in the first round, they get a 4-year contract with the 5th year option. Okay? That last year option is optional. That's up to the team. The team can decide, hey, this guy is not worth it. We're going to let him go into free agency. Or they can say, hey, we want to keep him. Or we're not ready to give him the extension yet, but let's look at him for 1 more year, or let's get 1 more year out of him maybe, and they'll exercise the last year. And when you look at how Saquon Barkley structured his contract as a rookie, this is why I say it's kind of his fault that he finds himself in the situation that he's currently in. His agent from Rock Nation Sports, her name is Kim Mayal. I'm guessing, 5 years ago, they probably popped champagne and she probably thought, hey, we got you a great deal. His rookie contract was for 5 years, $38 million. He had got $31 million guaranteed. So that's good money. $31 million guaranteed. That should set him up for life, right? And then they gave him the team option. The only thing that was different about Saquon Barkley's deal that has him in the situation that he is in today, a standard rookie contract is usually 4 years. Saquon Barkley did a contract for 5 years and then an optional 6th year. So when you're hearing people say, poor Saquon Barkley, first of all, he ain't poor. Unless he blew all his money, he ain't poor. He got $31 million guaranteed. He's Saquon Barkley. He's up in New York. He's got endorsements too. So he made money off the field. But it's his fault that he is now in a tricky situation. As a running back, a lot of these new running backs in the NFL, a lot of these guys are done or out of their prime by the age of 27, 28. In the NFL nowadays, if you're 29 years old, if you're 30 years old, you're either out of the league or most people have labeled you as an old running back. Every now and then you get a dog that just stays around for a long time, like Frank Gore, right? Somebody like that. Every now and then you might get a running back that can stick around for a long time, but that's not really that's not normal. And then you got to consider Saquon Barkley's injury history since he's been in the NFL. For 5 years, Saquon Barkley has played for the New York Giants. For at least for at least, I would say, 40% of that time, Saquon has been either injured or recovering from injury. In 2020, he tore his ACL, which is a major injury for a running back. So that injury alone is going to give any organization some doubt into signing a running back with an injury history within those 5 years. But not just signing them, but giving them a big contract. I'm not just coming at Saquon here. I'm going to let you know why I'm not on the side of either of these dum-dums in the situation, because both of them have been dumb. You got to watch some of these sports agents. There's nothing against his agent, Kim Mael. I'm sure she's great at her craft. But this was not a good deal that she did for this man, okay? Saquon Barkley, if he's a running back, and he's a young running back, he should have took the standard 4-year deal with the 5th-year option, okay? So when you're an agent, your job as an agent, you can look at the NBA and a lot of other sports. Your job is to try to get your client as many max salaries as possible. So in the NFL, as a running back, you probably only have at tops 2 big contracts throughout the course of your career. So when Saquon first came in, he probably got the biggest contract that he probably was going to ever get while he was, $31 million guaranteed as a running back. And then, 5 or 6 years down the line, he's considered old. He might be able to squeeze out another big contract, maybe for like $30 million, $40 million. As you see right here, some of these other running backs have been able to do it. Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry. The problem is Saquon signed for 5 years and then the optional 6th year. That means he gave the New York Giants 6 years of control of his career. The 2020 ACL tear really is what messed him up. I'm pretty sure when he tore his ACL, they had to know come 2023 they were going to be in a fight with the organization for a new contract. He had to know that. That's why he ran so well last year. Like I said, I'm not just coming at the running back in this situation. Let's talk about the mistakes that the New York Giants have made. So their general manager, Joe Schoen, he's in his 2nd year as general manager for the New York Giants. The reason why this isn't a good situation for him is because throughout the whole league, he's making it look like he's not taking care of his star players. If you don't take care of your star players in the NFL, the rest of the 53-man roster is going to think, hey, if they're not taking care of Tom Brady, if they're not taking care of Peyton Manning, if they're not taking care of Saquon Barkley, they damn sure ain't going to take care of me. When it's time for me, I can't trust this organization. So this 2nd-year general manager, GM there for the Giants right now, really have to watch how he's handling this situation, because right now it's not looking good for him, because players talk around the league. And then what they just did was a 1-year deal for $11 million. So if you're Saquon Barkley, are you really going to play your heart out this year, knowing that you're only on a 1-year deal and next year you can go into free agency? So really, Saquon just took his $11 million. I think he might have realized that he made a mistake going early with that 6-year contract that he gave to the Giants as a rookie. But I think what the New York Giants need to do is they should have traded Saquon Barkley. You don't want to keep a star around on your team. First of all, they only drafted 1 running back in the 5th round this year. If you're not sure, because they're clearly they're not sure about Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is probably going to go into free agency next year. They probably don't see him as long-term with the team. And so because of that, why didn't you just trade him for some draft picks or for another star player and replace him? Why did you allow this situation to go like this? You don't have a great running back room, and you drafted. Running back should have been a higher priority for the New York Giants this offseason in the NFL draft, or either in free agency. This is a team last year that looked like they were on a rise, and something like this could destroy a locker room. It could kind of, start seeping in bad energy into the organization. And, when teams see how you treat one guy, when players see that you treat one guy like this, how committed are they going to continue to be to the New York Giants? The GM for the New York Giants really need to watch himself. He really needs to watch how he handled this situation. For Saquon, he's going to have a monster year and show that he's not only still a great player, he's a player that's going to be around for a while. He's also going to be, he can get injured this year. If Saquon gets injured this year, he will never get another big contract. He can't slack too much and he can't give too much. I think Saquon gives about 80% this year. If he gets nicked up or anything like that, maybe he can risk to miss about 2 games. Maybe. To sum it up, neither of these parties in this situation have been good. Neither. The New York Giants should have either traded Saquon Barkley like the Carolina Panthers traded Christian McCaffrey last year after they understood, hey, this guy has given good service to the organization. Let's trade him to a winner, and let's trade him to a team that don't mind paying him. Because clearly we don't want to pay him. So why would you keep Saquon around to screw him like this? Going forward, I'm not really sure what type of year Saquon Barkley is going to have. If I was fantasy, I don't play much fantasy, but I wouldn't draft him on my fantasy team because I'm wary about the effort that he might put out. He might have a really good start to the season. The NFL season is a long year, but I'm really worried about how much he's going to allow his body to break down for the New York Giants this year, considering that he's not committed to them past this 2023-2024 campaign. Hey, thanks for checking in with me again. Make sure you like, you subscribe. Hey, dislike, you can dislike it. I like that. Leave the comments. You disagree with me, leave a comment. So until next time, the O-Pinion.